Ronnie, how are you getting it to repeat like that? How is it able to move, like this? Wouldn't you have to draw that over and over again? No. Yo, what's good, everybody? Ron1n Draws here, and today I'm going to show you how I animate vehicles moving in Clip Studio Paint. If you guys don't know, I am an artist. Yeah, you guys should know that. But anyway, I work on graphic design, architecture, manga, and animations. So I can speak in a couple different languages in the art community, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So in this example, we're going to use a fellow Ron1n, one of my homies' illustration here. He wanted me to make this move, and I was like,
oh, say less.
But yeah, go follow him at The Line Soul Weaver if you like indie comics and manga. I'll be doing a review of his books soon, so you guys can watch out for that. Also, if you like these kinds of breakdowns and you want to see more of them, go ahead and give this video a like for the algo. You know, your boy trying to catch a rhythm. Yeah, they'll think that's cool. In Clip Studio, you can do it really easily. Like, it's not hard at all. You just gotta know how to keyframe. I don't really gotta know anything else. We're running 24 frames per second, right? The total frames is 48. I mean, I could have really did this. I could probably do this in shorter frames, but because of the way I wanted the speed to look, I chose 48. So to do this part right here, we'll just start with the bushes. I said grass, but let's say bushes. I'm not kidding when I say this. This is very easy to do. Like just doing this right here. This is the grass right here. So this is all it is. It's just one frame set up to another frame. But your question is, Ronnie, how are you getting it to repeat like that? How is it able to move, like this? Wouldn't you have to draw that over and over again? No. So all you have to do, I'm gonna turn that on. This is the key point, dog. I'm just gonna make some bushes here. We're gonna do this again. All I'm gonna do, I'm just drawing some circles. I'm not doing anything really difficult. I'm using a mouse for this too, so just to let you know, I'm not doing anything. The only thing I am trying to do is maybe create some type of pattern, and I just make sure I just have it at the end, and that's it. So I just have some type of pattern, and I guess because we want this to look like real grass, I'm gonna have to have this straight, so like that, right? So if you follow me, if you're tracking that much, I just created just a normal layer. There's no trick layer, anything like that. We haven't got to that part yet, okay? The second thing that you have to do to make this repeat is that you have to create you have to register what you just did as a material, okay? This is really good for, again, for side views, for mountains, clouds. If you're gonna have stuff that's gonna move sideways and whatnot, you don't have to spend your time animating. Whatnot. That's the easy part. Okay, so you should be able to see my other screen here and whatnot. So you can see I created a layer over here, and that's what this is. Normal layer, right? So I went to edit, and then from edit, we went to register material, okay? From register material, you want to go to image, right? And then from here, again, we'll just name it bushes, right? And this is the important part, the paste operation. You want to make sure it says tiling. We can do the scale up and scale down. We want that. And then just make sure it's set on repeat right here, and that you have it set to only horizontal, right? So now, and you also have to choose a folder. Silly. So I'll just go to my template. That's where I normally keep my stuff anyway. Okay, so now that's it right there. You created that. So we're gonna actually hide this, and I'm just hiding a layer. So I'm going to my template. We're going to bushes right up here, the thing we just created, and we're just gonna drop it in, just like that. Okay. So now that you got it, So now you have this situation going on where you can boom, 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 boom. Once you've done that, now we have to do the keyframing. So I've only done one thing so far, is I created a material. Okay, so the second thing I got to do is actually make the image run. So to do that, what I like to do, so I can make sure I got a good starting point, so I like to go where it originated. So it's about like right there. Go to the end, hit the keyframe button, right? And then just go to the end. So depending on how fast you want it and whatnot, you just keep dragging it and whatnot. If you don't want it to be that fast, then you wouldn't go this far. So wherever you decide to stop, try to stop on the same place, like I mentioned earlier, where you can get a good stopping point. So it matches where you were. So about like right there, right? So we'll go back to the first one, and then we're gonna go all the way back. You kind of know you're all the way back because, you know, you'll get this back, and then you just boom. See, now you have it. See these green dots here? You have it from the first to the last frame. So if you play it, that's it. So that's going extremely fast though. You don't have to go that fast, but you get my drift here. So like we were gonna go back and make this slower. Well, you just have to go probably about right there. So go right there. That's where it breaks. So we do it again. There you go. Now it's slower. So for me, because I wanted to add some, you know, some sauce on it, we blurred this. But I think I blurred the original. So what you'd have to do if you want to make this like blurry, whatnot, you'd have to essentially go back to the original one and blur it out, and then make a image layer. So you kind of have to do that before if you want it blurred. I do like a Gaussian blur for about. That's too strong. That's about right. Yeah, that's good. You know, not even a Gaussian blur. We want a motion blur. Excuse me. Yeah. Go forward. Yeah, this way. Then you just go back. How am I going? Oh, register material running. Let's name it bushes 2. Tiling, scale up. Go to only horizontal. Save it under my templates. Boom. So now we got it here. So we're essentially just gonna do the same thing. Go to the end, keyframe it, and we'll just go about right here. But yeah, you just do that right there. And all I did was just copy. You can, you know, make this smaller. You can make it bigger, of course, and whatnot. And again, you can do this with clouds, anything. You just have to make the images shape that way so when they repeat, they don't get like weird and whatnot. So you just have to make sure essentially they're just the same patterns. So the extra parts that I added were like the wheels spinning, right? Which I think, you know, I will say this, never mind. Wheel spinning is actually a big deal. You do want that. So the wheel spinning right here, this is actually really, really easy. That kind of leads me to another situation. But I'm gonna zoom in on it here so you can see it, right? So you're like, dang, okay, how we do that, right? So this one you're thinking like, dang, dog, you had to do all this right here? It really wasn't that bad. You really just copy paste this stuff. But the wheel spinning was it's just 3 drawings, 3 frames. All you have to do is do like a Kind of like, imagine like something going in and then out, in, then out. You can do like a smaller variation of that, but that's just kind of like what gives the illusion when you do that very, very fast and whatnot, and you have a motion line that it's actually moving, right? Because there's some gleam behind each tire wheel or whatever. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that's all I did. First frame was it being out, second frame being in, and then, you know, it kind of being in the middle a little bit. So take that for what you will. You can make that any variation you want as far as how small that actual thing is. Just make sure it's like out, in, out. That's all that really matters. I did that same kind of trick here with this. These are like the tire spokes that you had going out. So originally it looked like this for each frame. So it's like out, kind of like an out, something that just looks like it's thick. And maybe this might be a better thing. Thick, thin, thick. That's all I did. And then just repeat that. Thick, thin, thick, thick, thin, thick. Now, as far as copying, again, that's real easy to do. All you do is take your mouse, drag it to the left side. So after you created those 3 images, all you have to do is just hold down the Alt key on your keyboard, right? And then just let's do that again. So there. That's all I did. So I just copied, made it larger, copied 6, made it larger, copied 12. You know what I'm saying? Just keep moving up and up. But yeah, hopefully that made sense. That's kind of like the most important part, is just the wheel spinning, the bushes. They could be bushes, they could be rails, they could be squares. So the same thing, of course, that I did with the bushes, you just do with the trees or poles. You do the same thing and whatnot. Just create a line going down, create it as an image, make sure it duplicates, and that's it. If you couldn't do that, you just essentially you'd have to make a canvas that's long enough that would go the span of that. The only reason why I don't like that is because then you have to figure out when it repeats and whatnot. So I don't know. I wouldn't do it. Especially not for this view. Oh yeah, I gotta tell you about the gleaming. This stuff right here. So I did this part right there. I was also, I think that's 3. That's also, yeah, it's just 3 images. Oh, no, that's not 3. That's could have sworn I did 6 with that one. Yeah, I did 6 with that one. Really 5, but it's just, it went in 6 different ways. So first one is I have like a little sliver on the side, and essentially we're just making this move across from here to here. That's all I did. So you just create a new animation layer, and all I did was just make some strokes from here, kept going, added one more stroke to kind of come after it on the 3rd frame, and just have it move along until we ended it on the 7th. So it starts on the first one where there's a little something, and then on the 7th one there was nothing. Essentially, that's it. That's all for today's animation breakdown, and as you can see, it's rolling. It's going, man, and we made it come to life in this case. So you know, I hope this gives you guys some ideas for bringing your own illustrations to life. And if you tried this out and you followed along, drop a comment and show me what you've animated. I love seeing people's work. You can definitely shoot me on Instagram. If you follow me on Twitch as well, or here on YouTube. I also stream every Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to, stop by, give me any questions that you have, video ideas, you just want to chill, come hang out with your boy and the Ron1n community there. But other than that, you guys, you know what to do. Like the video, join the Ron1n, and until next time, stay sharp and be easy.